This year on Tactical Trials, we're going to be testing out custom tactics from the best players all over the world. So where better place to start than from FC25's #1 pro player? Let's get into it. For those of you guys that are unfamiliar with Tactical Trials, it used to be a series where one of you guys would send me a tactic, I would try it in a few games, and then I would tweak it and try and improve the tactic. This year, what I want to do is have a focus on all the tactics on the channel being extremely usable and not too much of an emphasis on improving the tactics. So what I want to do is take tactics from really established players, top pros, top content creators, and what I want to do is play with the tactic in game and then adjust it so you guys can get more out of it, because having a pro player's tactic is no good if it requires you to be at a pro level to get the most out of it. So I'll be taking these tactics, and if I can see anything that caters it to a more casual player, then I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. So it's about getting a great tactic, but also being able to get the most out of the tactic as well. So today we're going to be checking out Stingray's 5-2-1-2. And the reason I've started with this Stingray tactic is that this year in the game, he looks to be kind of the best player in the world at the moment. He qualified through the Pro Open the hard way through going through the long bracket, and he's absolutely running through people, and he's playing with such confidence in this 5-2-1-2. It's obviously a gross approach to the game, but when you see the amount of success he's having with it, we've got to dissect it and see what we can get out of it for ourselves. As always, the tactics code is on screen down below, so you guys can try out this tactic yourself. Obviously, stick with me throughout the video because we'll probably tweak it to cater to the non-pro player, but nonetheless, build-up style is counter and defensive approach is on balance with the line height at 60. Without the ball, the tactic is in the traditional 5-2-1-2 shape, very robust, and with the ball, it almost looks a mess, to be honest. But what really stands out to me is you've got so many players at different points in the pitch. It's not like you've got any sort of banks of players. Lots of players are advanced a different amount, which makes me think it might be very, very easy to string the passing together, having such a variation of positions. So very intrigued to see how that plays in game. Getting into the player roles, we have Poacher on our left striker with the attack focus, and the right striker is false 9 with the build-up focus. Obviously, a Griezmann is perfect for the false 9, and someone like a Son, I think, for making those defensive runs is a really, really good pairing with him. I have Rutter at cam, who has shadow striker attack. Our left centre mid, the more creative one, is playmaker roaming, and our right centre mid is holding defend. In fact, what I want to do is maybe swap them around like so. Then for the right back, we have Walker on wing back balance, and then our left back is on false back balance. So interesting, he isn't sending both wing backs forward. And then the three centre-backs are all defend, with the goalkeeper just on goalkeeper defend. Instinctively, I just look at this and I don't have any idea of how to play with it. So I'm just hoping when we get into some games, it kind of just makes sense. The passes just kind of speak for themselves and we can find a way through. I haven't loved playing with 5 backs this year. I've been a big proponent of the 4-4-1-1. And then I think some variations that are similar to that shape have been very good. But the 5 back, as strong as they are, isn't something that really suits me, so it's definitely going to be interesting to try out a 5 back as unique as this one. Okay, there we are. We're in the 5-2-1-2. Instantly, this feels like such a different shape to what I'm used to. See how the left back tucks in like a centre mid there with that false back. Just drive this space here. So you don't really get too much of an overlap on the left side with the false back, but Akam has sort of taken up that space for us. Let's work this across. Got a lot of options for a 5 back. Is Son offside there? I think he is off. But he looks very, very strong on the attack, has to be said. Okay, very, very strong on the defence as we expect. Oh dear. It's so hard to not do that on this year's game. I'm sure all of you have conceded many goals from those silly, slow passes at the back. Okay, nice. Feels like it's a really high line, even though it's only at 60. Good block from him there, but I like the Poacher on Son there, really making him make an offensive run. Done over the top a bit there. Strong tackle. Let's do a big switch. Oh, that's really nice. I like how that's opened up there. Maybe a finesse is on. Yellowed it. Doesn't matter though. Really, really nice offensive run there with the Poacher instruction. One we're not seeing much on tactics this year. Weirdly feel like the false back gets forward quicker than my wing back. Although he did push forward a bit there, to be fair. Okay, let's bring the wing back into play, see what we can do here. Some Griezmann on a run. Maybe played that a tad too early there. It served me well when I've done this switch, actually, so I'm going to do it again and maybe... Oh, Son ran offside, okay. I'm used to him dropping a little bit shorter there because I normally use advance forward. Poacher, they always seem to go for that run, don't they? Oh, that's a nice run from Griezmann. Despite having false 9 on him there, he made a great run. We'll square that. And that is 2. I really like the combination of Poacher and false 9. It gives a lot of dynamic up front. Considering it's just 2 strikers, it feels like it gives the defence a lot to think about. Please, keeper. Okay, the only kind of time my opponent's getting a chance is when I just give it away in defence because of just how this game is at the back. So it's nice to know if you basically don't give the ball away at the back, it's very solid defensively, that's for sure, as we would expect from a 5-back. Like in these scenarios where I haven't given him the ball, like it feels pretty locked down. But even then where it looks like he's got space, like he just really hasn't. I love that run from the cam, that was unlucky. That's that shadow striker coming into play there. They're not going to be afraid to make runs. I have no idea where my left back is here. Which feels... There he is. It was a bit weird sometimes with that false back on. It's almost like he's MIA a bit. He's just completely missing. First half, promising. There's definitely a little bit of getting used to where players are, particularly the false back. There was scenarios there where I literally didn't have a clue where my left back was because they'd sort of ventured somewhere random into the midfield. So, got to get a little bit more of a feel for that, but definitely feels like it's got a lot of attacking potential while still maintaining that strength of a 5-back. Let's get into the second half. Yeah, the false back recovered well there. I'll rate their positioning on that one. Really covered for the centre back, which I like. This is lovely. Trivella maybe? Fantastic. Again, the cam looks like a huge proponent of how this works. Despite being on Shadow Striker, they still hold a position in the midfield until that final third, which I really like. Yeah, I definitely think playing that switch is key in this setup. If I can get a shot off here, especially if you're someone that feels like you give away a lot. Like from, you know, losing the ball in your own third and stuff, which we all do on this game because it's so hard not to. But if you feel like you do that like more than other people do, I definitely think if you use this setup, ensure you're utilising that switch as much as possible. So when you're here getting pressed, just full send it to the other side and buy yourself that time. Even if you have to do it twice. I know it's a little bit cringe, but it's better than conceding a goal because of not doing it. Gosh. I tell you what, once I'm used to that Poacher, I think it'll be really good. But he made that run so fast, I couldn't press the button quick enough to pass it to him. He was offside before I could do it. Oh my word, he's put me in a blender there. Okay, that was a good goal. But I mean, if they've got to be that creative to get a goal, then you're not going to be conceding many. Lovely play from the false 9 there. Maybe dink that over the defender. Oh, good block. Reflecting on those tactics, I think the first thing worth noting is that earlier I didn't mention that the middle centre-back was ball-playing defender. I said they were on defender. I didn't realise. I know I put the caption on the screen, but just worth noting that I didn't realise it at the time, but I didn't really notice them playing any different in-game. So not too much to say on that. I think the first thing that we could tweak to cater it to a more casual player is the false back on the left back. I don't think there would be any harm in having that on fullback balanced or even fullback defend. I think fullback balanced would be fine. If you're someone that doesn't like your left back just not being like in a left back position, if you don't like the idea of them drifting more centrally and into midfield, I think that is an absolutely perfectly fine tweak to cater it more to your style without really hindering the tactic. I actually like the false back. I just think there's an element of getting used to where they actually position sometimes, because sometimes I really had no idea where my left back was. The centre mids had a great dynamic between them. I love the Shadow Striker attack on the cam. I wouldn't touch any of this. I thought the False 9 Poacher combination was really good, but one thing I think you guys could absolutely change is you could change the Poacher to Advanced Forward, and the reason for that is the Poacher makes such aggressive runs that if you're someone that doesn't play very direct, you might often find yourself passing to them when they're offside. So I don't think switching this to Advanced Forward would hinder the formation. I just think it would cater it to someone that doesn't build up quite as fast. So Advanced Forward for the striker and maybe full back for the left back. But other than that, these tactics are really, really cool. Like, I think they're really good. I think I probably do prefer them to the 5-2-1-2 I put together. I'd maybe just make the tweak on potentially the Poacher to Advance Forward, but I'm willing to give this formation and set up more games with Poacher to see if it is something I can get used to, because obviously that's how Stingray set it up, so it works for him. So who's to say it can't work for us as well? That is everything from me today, guys. If there are any tactics you see from your favourite content creators or pro players, feel free to leave them in the comment section below with the tactics code, and we can include them on the next episode of Tactical Trials. If this video does help you out, please be sure to check out my custom tactics playlist linked in the description below. But as always, guys, if you did make it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn your bell on. Take care, guys.